So I think this is going to be a short video, but basically while I was looking over the engine and seeing what's going on, basically I noticed that this, which is the auxiliary water pump, didn't seem to be doing much. I couldn't see any signs of the pump, pushing air or whatever into this reservoir for coolant, and I couldn't feel the motor on it underneath working at all. So long story short, what this video is going to be is basically me replacing this with a new part. And I'm not getting any issues with the engine, I'm not getting any signs or even any codes that that's not working. But to me, it just doesn't seem to be working at all. The motor or the pump inside it is not working. Now, bearing in mind, this is responsible for pushing and pumping around the circuit coolant, and also helps with the heating inside the car and maybe other things as well. But that's what this video is going to be. It's just me replacing that. And the idea being, we're going to clamp this pipe here and this pipe here, and then swap over those pipes onto the new part and then pop the part in place. There doesn't seem to be like any bolts or anything you've got to undo. This literally slips off this bracket here, and the new part slips into that. So that's what we're going to be recording. We'll see how we get on, and we'll see if it makes any changes to the actual running of this ML.
Apologies, my new mic system decided it didn't want to work, but basically we've gone out and bought a cheap and cheerful part, mainly because the Mercedes parts and even sort of Gates versions are now about £150, and I just want to do some preliminary testing. So this was $39.99 off of Amazon, and we're going to sort of plug that in and see if I can feel the pump actually working. So hence why we're using this cheap and cheerful, probably Chinese made part. This is purely for us to see if it makes any difference. Along with that, I've also got, as I'm reaching for now, these clamps. This is also from Amazon, $7.99. The idea being that we can clamp those coolant pipes and try and stop loads of coolant going all over the place. We'll see how successful they are. And along with that, we need a cloth just in case we do get coolant places that we don't want. So we'll start off by clamping down on these pipes. Start with the top pipe. I'm pulling the pump off of the mount point now, so it gets a bit more easier to now clamp the second pipe. To be honest, these clamps could have done with being clamped, or being able to clamp a bit more tougher on the pipe. Overall, I'm not that impressed with these clamps, and they might be finding their way being sent back to Amazon. So I've got some pliers ready to open the actual clamp or retainers that are on the pipes. I'm going to get the new parts out ready for us to do the swap over. The idea being, swap the pipes over as quick as possible, so that if those Amazon clamps don't work, or they're not that successful in keeping the coolant in the pipes, then at least we're going to minimise the amount we're going to lose. So we're going to go for the top pipe first, and then quickly pass that over to the new part. Using these pliers, we'll open these clamps on the pipe. To be honest with you, it wasn't that easy. These clamps haven't been moved for a very long time. can see me here struggling to get any movement on that clamp, but we get there in the end. We're unplugging the power connector, a 2-pin power plug, and we're just popping that out. And now we're going to loosen off that top pipe and quickly transfer it to the new part. Now it's on the new part, we're going to put those retaining clips back in place to hold the pipe there. Time to go for the second pipe now. As I say, I don't think those Amazon clamps were that successful, to be honest. That one certainly didn't hold back the coolant, but admittedly not loads came out, so we kind of got away with it. There's the retaining clip coming off, and now we're going to gently pry off that pipe. Some coolant now decides it wants to come out, but we'll quickly get that pipe onto the new part. Now we'll put that retaining clip back in place to hold this pipe onto the new part. We'll remove the useless Amazon clamps. Coolant going everywhere, but we want to take off this rubber mount. So this rubber mount just pushes over the pump. We want to get that removed so that we can put it on our new pump and then use that to mount it back onto the bodywork. And we'll just store away the old non-working original part. Not too much coolant came out really. We're now going to put that rubber mount piece back onto this new pump so that we can then mount it back onto the bodywork of the engine bay. Plug back in the 2-pin power cable. And then mount it back onto the bodywork of the car. so now the engine is running. I'm now going to feel and see if I can feel the pump actually doing anything, and see if there's any difference. So I'm putting my hand now on the actual motor, and I can confirm I can feel it pumping now. A slight vibration from the motor. This is I wasn't getting before with the original part in place. And actually I can also see the air, as it were, going into the coolant reservoir, which I'm now pointing to. I can see sort of air, or should I say movement of the water being pushed around the system. So clearly the new part is now doing its job. So by conclusion, I think I'll keep the Chinese part in place for now, and at least we know that the old original part wasn't working. And by the way, that smoke you can see is the oil that's dropping from the valve cover gasket, which I identified in an earlier video. It's dropping onto the exhaust, so nothing too much to worry about there.